Hello, everyone. Welcome back to In Out Delete, the show where we review both new and older movies. This is Gino.
This is Spooky Robert.
This is Slim Shady. I guess it's Ricardo. I'm dressed up, ready for Halloween. I don't know. You guys should have joined because I'm gonna be doing this all week.
I got my jack-o'-lantern.
Oh yeah. See?
Yeah, I got Robert's jack-o'-lantern.
Oh, this is America.
And Gio.
And here we are, October. This is the month of Halloween. I expected a Halloween themed Robert for this day, but close enough.
I don't prepare for this shit.
That's just on the regular.
America, what you been watching?
In the spirit of spooky season, I watched Mars Attack, which I know is a comedy, but I saw this as a child when it was in theaters, and I was terrified. I was literally in the theater crying. That's what I remember. So I rewatched it for the first time since being traumatized, and it was pretty funny.
So it was a therapeutic experience for you?
Kind of. I can let go now of that. So. What did you watch, Robert?
In the spirit of spooky season. No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, kind of. Because I watched for the first time Ed Wood by Tim Burton. Yeah, I'd never seen it before. So I thought it was really great. It's about, in case you don't know, it's a true story about Ed Wood, the famous. He's often referred to as the worst filmmaker, director ever. Plan 9 from Outer Space, I think, is considered like one of the worst movies ever made. But like, you see this guy, he's obviously kind of dumb. He doesn't know anything about film, but he has like the drive to like get money and make them, So it's kind of inspiring, because like, let's face it, I suck, but like it made me think like, wow, if he could do it, he did do it. It's a true story. There's hope for me, Gio, what are you watching?
Watched a little bit of Moneyball the other night. And
back to that again, huh?
Yeah, it was on TV, so I was just like, we talked about it. It was like, oh, Moneyball. So I watched that. What about you, Gino?
You know what, man? I've been watching for Spooky October. I actually watched Resident Evil. Of course, the first one, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, who did Mortal Kombat, of course, and Event Horizon. And of course, this is not the greatest zombie movie of all time.
Whoa. Speak for yourself there, buddy.
You know what? It is for what it is. They use some of the source material from the video game because I'm a huge fan of the video games, so of course I'm going to watch it. And I do enjoy it, but it's just, I'm in there for the fun of the action scenes and the wacky ass zombie scene. That's it. You know what I mean? Ricardo, what about you?
Trip out on this. Speaking of zombie movies, I'm watching this movie. Yeah, I don't know where the fuck you're gonna find this movie. Seriously, like I got lucky and I found it somewhere in the internet. It's called Coronavirus? No.
What?
Corona Zombies, dude. It just literally was made in April. Like it was so recent.
Yeah.
It's so bad, but so funny, dude. They use this I guess real footage of the news. The people that don't want to wear masks and everything, they're just they're making fun of all those people, and it's like real footage. You can tell it's real footage, so that's why this movie's not gonna come out on Netflix. They'll get sued or something. It's so dumb.
It was so ridiculous.
It's so dumb, but it's relevant, so it made me laugh a lot. And
America, I want you to start this. Bring us into this. What we watched.
For my pick in this little horror franchise, I picked Child's Play. The one from 1988, the original one, and the 2019 movie with Aubrey Plaza and Mark Hamill as the voice of Chucky. To me, this is like the ultimate horror movie. I'm in on the 1988 movie. Okay. Yeah, what do you think, Robert?
I think it's no secret here. I mean, obviously, I'm the horror person, the horror fan here.
So he's a delete.
But that being said, I absolutely love this movie. I'm in. I actually wasn't gonna watch it because I'm so familiar with it. I was just like, oh, I could just talk about it. I was like, no, let me watch it. And I watched it, and I don't know why, because as a kid growing up, I loved all of these movies, and it was a little bit more accessible because it wasn't as scary as the other ones, and it had like a kid, in it, so it was we were kids, and so it was fun to
Relatable.
watch. Yeah, but I was always a big fan of part two, and this one was like, whatever.
Okay.
But then I watched this one just recently, and I was like, this is really, really good. Like I really, really liked it. Like the effects, like the doll effects, and how they cut from the just the doll to like the little puppet, and then to like the little guy in the suit. Oh man, it was cut together so well. And there's a shot like near the end where Andy, it's like over the shoulder on Andy, and Chucky's like has a knife to him. He's like walking to him with a knife. I was like, that shot is executed so perfectly. I just loved it, and I thought it was great. I can't say enough about it. The 80s aesthetic, I love all that. I'm curious to think, because Gio is like the non-whore, the anti-robber of this podcast. So what did you think of this?
To be honest, I think this is the first time I have really ever seen, I think, Child's Play.
Oh.
Like, I don't think I've ever really seen the first one. I think I've seen Bride of Chucky, and that's kind of it. You know what? I think I'm gonna be an in on this. It is over the top in certain, like, the whole voodoo aspect of this, but I'm in. Like, it is scary enough. It has a couple of like jump scares. Like, to be fair, like it left me kind of like looking over my shoulder a couple of times after watching this.
Yeah, man. Of course, I'm 100% super duper in on this. I fucking love this movie. Even rewatching it again, because I was like Robert when I was younger. I only watched the second part, and I could only remember the second
weird,
one
huh?
just
Yeah,
for
yeah.
some reason. And it's always the factory scene, if you guys remember.
Exactly.
That.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
exactly.
And so I'm kind of like, well, wait, why can't I remember this movie? So I remember recently rewatching it. I like the whole idea of the fact that it was like a very voodoo-esque, like supernatural to it, than just like, well, we'll talk about it later. But yeah, comparing to the new one. But I mean, it's just, I really liked it. I really enjoyed the voice of, especially the voice actor who did Chucky. It scared the shit out of me. Especially when it did the whole curse thing. That fucking scared the shit out of me. So Ricardo, what about you, man?
Oh my god. You know how Robert is with Halloween? This is how I am with Chucky. So I am super in. I seen this movie 100,000 bazillion times. I love it. I watch it every year. So like this is like my movie, And I watch all of them though. And I'm a fan of Chucky. And as a kid, I was super terrified of Chucky. Like that was the number one person I was scared of until I saw Bride of Chucky, and it completely changed my life.
I get it for worse, right? I could tell just by looking at you.
I actually was not afraid of anything after that, right? So then I could go back and I was able to watch Chucky without being scared and like pay attention and love this character. This character that I was so scared of became like a person now, and like a really cool guy too. Like I really love that character, So seeing him here in the beginning of his little thing.
The beginning of his career?
Yeah, the beginning of his career. I love this movie, and this is probably my favorite one of all of them.
All the franchises?
All of them, probably. I have to think about it because the second one is probably there. Like the second, I kind of like the second one a little bit more.
Yeah, it's weird, huh?
Yeah, so I don't know, but yeah.
I thought you were gonna say Seed of Chucky for a second there. I was like, oh no.
No.
But it's funny that you guys bring those movies up because like America kind of mentioned this. She thought of this kind of as a comedy, and I think that reputation didn't get like into these movies until Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky. It was always a little campy, right? A little doll, right? But I think those Bride of Chucky's when it fully embraced like the camp and it went all for that. And like even though like I'm not like the biggest fan of the movies, like I love that shift, that tonal shift, and it just kind of ran with it. But yeah, I think I like the voice actor, the character who does Chucky, such a perfect voice and like so menacing, but yet kind of like almost comedic in a way. Like it's like a cartoon kind of perfect casting there. Yeah, I love this movie.
Dude, and when they show him for the first time with his friend, the black guy, remember the guy that showed him the voodoo thing, and like he becomes this funny character, dude.
But I love that I love that you mentioned that scene though, because like for most of the movie, at least before that, they're showing him like just his feet, just his arm, you know, like not revealing the whole thing. And then when they finally reveal like all of the full puppetry and the movement, like all the elements put together, I think they might have even done stop motion. Like it's so fucking good right there. Yeah.
got really into it, so I saw like the behind the scenes and everything, and how they have a bunch of Chuckies and how they make them look nastier and nastier and nastier all the time because he's becoming human, you know?
Yeah.
So he starts looking nasty, and it's so good. I love that.
That's true, actually. As he kind of becomes more human or more of his character, like he does like grow uglier and uglier throughout the movie.
They held back a lot in this movie. In the scene where the mom finally is like, say something, I'm gonna throw you in the fire, right? When he fucking reveals his voice and just starts moving, that scene was so damn satisfied. I was like, yes! It's like, fuck her up!
Dude, I remember, dude, I know this movie by heart, right? So I know that scene is coming, right?
Yeah.
Like watching it, like fucking
because I know what's coming. I've seen this movie before, and I'm scared.
Remember the batteries are not there, so it's oh my god, he's
such a great scene,
right? So then he turns his head, and then I go, oh, you know, so she fucking dies.
But like, I was surprised watching it this time. It's just how well paced it is. Like, it moves along. It's nice and short. It doesn't waste any time. I think watching it this time, like it moved up on a level because it wasn't really for me, like franchise wise. I do love it, but it wasn't as high like as other ones. I think it moved up a notch for me in this rewatch. Yeah.
If you go to part 2, that character of Andy is the same guy, right? It's the same actor.
Yeah, same kid. Yeah.
And he's like evolved in a certain way. It's kind of like Sarah Connor, you know, like in Terminator 2. And it's so cool. They do it good, man. Because he's like, I don't know if you guys remember. I've seen these movies. It's just like a shitload of time. So there's this scene where he kills somebody. Chucky kills somebody. And then like Andy's just looking at him. This is part 2. He's looking at it, like looking at the dead body. And then he's like, snap out of it. And you're acting like you've never seen a dead body before, you know? It's like that character now. He's like, I don't know.
He's been hardened.
I think the second one is fucking too good. Too good.
Yeah.
You guys should watch it again. You know, it's
I think I'm gonna watch. Yeah.
And then
not
the
third one.
Third one is pretty funny too.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the bro. Come on.
Oh, that's the third one.
Yeah.
Part 4 is where it really goes campy, but it knows what it is. Yeah, it knows what it is, and it doesn't shy away from it. You know, the next one continues that. But I actually am a fan of the later two. The what is it? The Cult of Chucky, and there's the other one. The Curse of Chucky. Yeah. Those two, I was like, when I watched them, I was like straight to DVD or whatever. I was like, yeah, whatever. But then I watched them, I was like, these are surprisingly good. And this is kind of lead into the next movie we talk about, the remake. But the reason for that is this the character, the story was created by a guy named Don Mancini. You see his story by, and he co-wrote the screenplay. And then he has shepherded the franchise throughout all of those movies.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why you have a consistent storyline, right? It's the same storyline going across all of them, and kind of consistent, more or less quality, I think, because you have one creator going through the whole thing.
So moving on to the 2019 Child's Play. Funny that it has like the same name, and it's complete remake of Child's Play, kind of essentially.
It's a reimagining.
Remake. Yeah, it is, because it's Chucky. You still have this dog.
Like okay, I get you. Sorry.
Anyway, all right. So this doesn't have Don Mancini. He's not involved anymore. I don't think he approved of this movie, right? And directed by Lars Klevberg. I don't know. In this remake, the big difference is that Chucky is essentially like a robot, an AI thing, kind of like sent in the wrong direction by a disgruntled employee. Like,
it's true.
Someone sent this daughter evil.
Yes, a man in Vietnam who is like works in the factory making these brand new Chucky dolls that everyone's obsessed with. He got fired or something. So essentially, what he really does, or something, I don't know, disgruntled employee almost literally just goes like evil, and so Chucky, or what do they call him in this one?
Buddy.
Buddy.
It's a buddy doll. So this buddy doll
You wanna
essentially
get
is like
sued,
an
huh?
AI, and he learns. So he kind
Mm-hmm.
of learns how to become evil through like watching TV, right? And like watching the neighborhood kids.
Mhm.
So that's the big difference. And he's hideous. I can't approve. I'm in on this movie, but I cannot approve like what he looks like. I fucking hate it. Like, why did they do that? Anyway,
Copyright
what do you
reasons.
think, Porto?
Oh, yeah, same thing. The way he looks is like, what the fuck, you know? What kid would want this? But
Especially a
to-
13-year-old.
yeah, but to be honest, they make fun of that, you know, through the whole
Mhm.
movie. They make fun of the whole thing, and then they make fun of like the new technology, everything. So the deaths are fucking amazing. I think they're so good, like the way he kills people, and I was super entertained, and I'm in. But was it better than the old one? What do you think, Gino?
Oh man, I am an in on this. I did not hate my time watching it. Oh man, what's her name? Audrey Plaza. I mean Aubrey Plaza. Dude, she made me laugh all the time. Her scene. I just like her dry sarcasm in her scenes, and it just goes so well with her because that's how she is in any character she plays. But man, Mark Hamill did a great job as Chucky, like the voice. I mean, we'll get into it, but yeah, I'm in. It's you know, is it better than 1988 Child's Play? Maybe. Yeah, we'll get into it. But Gio, what would you think?
I'm in on this one.
Oh, an easy in. What the hell? All right, whatever.
You didn't have all the
Well,
baggage that we had.
Pretty much, like I said, you because the thing is, you guys had better connections to the other one. This was literally the first week I had ever seen the other one, so I have no connections. So the reimagining of this movie or this storyline, like I was able to buy this one a little bit more. Just I don't know, like I just because I guess the because it's tech based, so and just the whole AI kind of thing, like I was able to buy it more than I
Also
think
scared of robots?
no, but I can buy the robot angle more than the voodoo.
Yeah.
Like to me, I don't know.
Well, I actually reviewed this on our Instagram page, if you guys remember. So it's like no surprise, yeah, but I'm gonna reiterate that this movie had so much going against it. I remember when it was coming, it was being advertised and all that. Obviously the loss of Mancini. I think that turned off a lot of fans. Because the franchise has a lot of hardcore fans. I was not hardcore, but I was kind of one of them. And then the whole AI thing is like, how many times have we seen that bullshit before? It's like, fuck this shit. And then you get rid of the original voice actor, right? I love Mark Hamill, but it's like, how are you gonna replace an icon? It's like replacing Darth Vader, Like literally every single thing was working against it, and I did not want to watch it. I didn't watch it in theaters, so I bombed. But then I watched it. I gave it a chance online, and I gotta say, I was fucking so surprised. I'm in, and it's like plain and simple, the movie works. It just works.
Yeah.
Like, the kills, like Ricardo said, there's not that much, but they're paced out really well, and they're so much damn fun. It's weird to say that, but the kills are they're creative, and that's what you could ask for in a horror movie. The performances are great. Aubrey Plaza and the little kid, Mark Hamill did the impossible task of making you care about this new Chucky. Literally the ugliest fucking design you've ever seen. Like, yeah, he still kind of made you care. So the director's name, Lars, whatever, fucking impossible task, but I think he pulls it off. It's a shame nobody saw it. You know, I think it would have been better off just don't call it a reboot, don't call it a remake, just call it evil or doll that goes wrong and it starts killing people. 2019, and people would have gave it a chance. It's such a shame, but yeah, I think get by the fact that it's not associated with the other ones and just give it a chance as its own thing.
I agree with that.
If I saw that thing, I wouldn't buy that for my kid. It's hideous.
Same here.
Yeah.
It's like during this time, you know how like it's about technology and we're in this modern world.
Yeah, everything's
You would not get that.
All the designs are so sleek and nice. You're gonna get this. But like we were talking about in the last one, we were talking about Andy, right, the kid. And I think if I could critique the remake a little bit, I think it's a mistake that even though he did a great job, it's a great performance. It's a mistake that they aged up the kid
Yeah.
for a lot of things because even his character, he doesn't care about the doll anymore. Like there's
Right.
no like in the original, the kid wanted the doll more than anything. Why? Because he was a child, and
Yeah.
and that's what I loved about the original is that he was a kid. They show him like pouring the cereal and just making a mess, you know, like that is a kid. You buy that he wants that doll more than anything, you know. And this
Right.
one, you don't have that connection. It's kind of forced, you know. It's kind of part of the story, but I think you lose a little bit of that innocence that the original had that kind of made you connect a little bit more
That
to it.
innocence, yeah.
Yeah.
That you fear for him
But
now,
I
you know?
think
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's kind of the difference too, though, because this movie, I guess it kind of takes, I don't, maybe because it was the actors or whatever. But in the first movie, you're supposed to be scared, right? And then
Mhm.
this one, it's like, oh, it's Aubrey Plaza, and like she's really dry, like you know. I don't think you're expecting to get scared. I think you kind of expect more of the later on Chucky when he kind of becomes a comedy character. You know what I mean? So I think they kind of took all of that happened from the first franchise, and then they kind of just were like, okay, Chucky is like this little doll. He's cute and he kind of becomes evil, but at the end of the day, he became like this kind of likable character. It was a comedy, so
Yeah.
because
Well,
it was
that
lighthearted. This movie, you know, it wasn't
that
dark.
yeah, that is actually a byproduct of all modern horror movies because everything post Scream changed all horror movies, right? After the movie Scream, everybody has to be aware of horror movies, right? So that's why you have that comedic element in most horror movies after that, right? So everything kind of has to be like, oh, winking at the camera. That's why Aubrey Plaza's in it, right? She's the comedic character and she does great, you know. So I think that's why you have that element, you know, because it's a ridiculous premise, right? An evil doll killing people, right? So it kind of has to wink at the camera, you know.
You know, but like to be honest, I don't really like. I like the way he finds out how to kill people. You know, like all that is like learning. That's all cool. But the way they made him, I thought that was so funny. Like the movie starts like this, right? And like how the guy gets all upset and he starts like, no, fuck you guys, and he's gonna do
evil coach.
Yeah, all that it was like already like, whoa, this movie kind of. I was already like, whoa, is it gonna suck? What's going on right now? You know, like it might suck, but it all paid off and it's fine and it's a good entertainment. So I hear that they had Christmas stuff too.
And I think that kind of adds an interesting layer to the Chucky doll or Buddy or whatever. Is that he's not really evil, like quote unquote, right? He's just
it's not his fault.
Exactly, right. He's doing what he's protecting the kid basically.
Yeah.
So it's not evil. He's just kind of misguided, you know. So I mean, like most of the stuff in this movie worked for me. You know, that's why it's genuinely surprising. It's just don't call it child's play. Like,
I agree.
You know?
But I mean, there's no way you can't call it.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, because it is like imagine they didn't because they already changed his name. Now he's Buddy. Like they call his movie Buddy. Like
nobody would have seen it.
Be like, what the fuck?
But nobody saw it anyways. The marketing did no favors for it. I remember like it was kind of marketed like Stranger Things, like they showed a bunch of kids like running around. I was like, and it's not that at all. And it's just like they didn't know what to sell basically, and it basically nobody bought it. You know.
Well, bringing up the group of friends, I thought those kids were pretty funny. Like was it? But yeah, like the whole Aubrey Plaza kind of thing. Was it? At first, I was like, when was it? I thought she was either gonna be like an older sister, like their parents died or something, and she was left in charge of like the kid, like her younger brother. But then, like, I love the fact that they do kind of make fun of, like, the fact that was it like she had a very active Sweet 16. Like I thought it was like okay, fine.
The director, you could tell he has like a lot of influences, and he's very passionate about them, like E.T. Like there's like a sense of wonder in it, and obviously the kid has a red sweater, right? That's
also
Elliot
the glowing
E.T.
finger.
Yeah, so there's a lot of that in it. You know, that's all fun. But going back to like Mancini, when they first started to produce this movie, they wanted him involved, and he said, "No, I don't like that fucking AI shit." It's like, well, at least sign off, like, and say that you approve. He said no. So then I was like, fuck you, we're gonna do our own shit without you. He is actually trying to make a TV series continuing the original story. Like going back to kind of what we were talking about. Gino, you mentioned the girl at the end of Cult. I think he wants to continue that storyline. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's her at the end. No, it's Chucky. It's
Yeah.
dude. I love all that.
yeah, I'm excited for
He's
that.
like, hey, what
Me
about
too.
you?
Yeah.
What about the
Yeah.
kid? And like, fuck that kid. You know that shit is good.
Fuck this new kid.
No, no, no.
Oh,
Then Cult of Chucky. That's how it ends.
Oh.
That shit is funny.
So
Thanks
sweeps
to-
all around on both movies,
Sweeps.
but we do prefer the original, of course.
Except for me.
Except Gio.
yeah.
Damn
Yes,
you, Gio.
but I think the message here is for people that wrote off the remake, give it a
Should
shot.
watch
It's
it,
a
yes.
very entertaining movie. Yeah.
Mm.
So my horror pick for remakes and originals is Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the original from 1956 and the remake from 1978.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, In Out Delete Reviews, and Twitter at In Out Delete, and also YouTube, please. As usual, gamer style, click on the bell, subscribe, comment below. You know, yeah, you know me. I'm done doing this joke. I gotta stop doing that. But seriously though, we have YouTube now. Please click on the bell, follow us, subscribe, comment, and also if you're really interested in movie soundtracks, we have a Spotify playlist. I mean, we mentioned it before, not last episode, but we mentioned it.
Yeah.
But yes, if you want to listen along the songs, tune in next week. Be safe, wear your mask, sanitize. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.